Welcome to That Card Collectors Podcast with your host, Ian Taylor.
Ho, ho, ho! Welcome, everybody, to That Card Collectors Podcast. My name is Santa Ian. Joining me this week is Elf Wesley.
Heyo!
And Dungeon Master Josh.
What it is.
That's not the most seasonal thing, but it says Dungeon Master on your thing on the screen.
It's an inside thing between cast here. It's
okay.
All
right.
There's been spent some time in the dungeon lately, but good dungeon. There's good and bad. This one
okay. Wesley, Josh, just ignore this bit. Wesley, do you have any idea what Josh is talking about?
I mean, I kind of have an idea.
Okay. All right. Tell me afterwards. Anyway, let's lift things back up again. Because this will be the last episode of this podcast that we will drop this year, and it will drop a week before Christmas Day. So I felt it was appropriate. This won't age well if someone listens to this in June. But I thought it would be quite nice to have some Christmassy music in the background.
It's very nice.
You're
very nice.
It's kind of there. Are you feeling Christmassy?
It's tough down here. It's tough, but I'm starting to feel it. I'm feeling it now.
I'm sure you are. Wesley, I know you've just had a dump of snow where you are, so you must be feeling it.
Yeah, we went to bed last night hoping for 4 to 7 inches and woke up disappointed with 2 inches.
We've all been there. We've all had it happen. I'm contractually obliged to also ask, Wesley, how many shifts at the mall have you done so far this season?
Yeah, it's part-time.
Thank God.
You are looking mighty fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank God. Yeah. Thank God. This audio.
Yeah, I know. Hang on a minute. Let's get rid of that one. Right. Okay. So sorry. I do really love that carol, but after like 30 seconds of it, it really gets on your tits because it's so intense. Like they're properly giving it. They're properly giving it like Christmas. So I thought, let's just pretend that we're nice and warm indoors, crackling fire.
Oh my
and we
God.
can just that's kind of the vibe we're trying to set here. Again, if you listen to this in August, you might not want to be anywhere near a crackling fire. But
right.
Southern Hemisphere and all that, we might have listeners in other places. So yeah. So what I figured.
One would
excuse
hope.
me. Sorry. Yeah, one would hope. You know what? I did that right. Okay, hang on a sec. Hang on, I need a swig. Oh, whiskey. Right. I did that Spotify. That Spotify Wrapped thing.
I've heard of it.
The other week. I think I shared it. Didn't I share it?
It's like a couple screenshots of it. You did, yes.
Yeah. No, I linked to it. I did a screen recording of it as well. That I popped on a Google Drive and sent. So you probably haven't had a chance to listen to it. But I just want to talk through a few stats here as well. So from the stats, we can say that, and this is obviously based on Spotify. We can say that our top countries that people listen to us in 2025 is United States is number 1. Let's have a guess at the others. What would you say would be number 2?
Canada.
It's Australia, mate. It's Australia.
Yeah.
G'day.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Put another Struth. There's a bloke down there with no strides on. Number 3. What would you say number 3 might be?
UK.
Bang on. You see, he's gone back to the chat and looked at the screenshot. That's what it is. Yeah, it's jolly old England at number 3. Number 4 is...
You've
already said it. You've already guessed it.
Canada.
Thailand.
What did you just say, Wesley?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Well, you're not far off, actually. It's Canada for number 4. Number 5, you'll never get this. Number 5 is Taiwan.
Oh,
Hashtag
Okay.
WTF.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Okay.
So, what can you do? This year we have a year-on-year growth. We're up 457%. 457%
wow.
in terms of
Awesome.
audience. 7% in terms of followers. And up 1.1k in listening hours. Listening time is up 16%. Yeah, I mean there's loads of other stats in here, but I just thought it's a fantastic thing. Now, obviously, it's only talking about Spotify. I don't think it pulls in
Right.
things like Apple
YouTube.
Podcasts. I don't think it doesn't pull in YouTube. But it's the
Right.
number 1 show for 15 fans. 15 fans. So, to those 15 fans, can I just say, thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
We will
Absolutely.
be sending you a link to buy T-shirts very soon. I'm actually not kidding. We will be, because I've been hooked up with a referral code to a rather nice print-on-demand company who will, once I'm going to get my head into it over the Christmas break coming up, and I'm going to make it possible for you, dear listeners and viewers, to be able to order T-shirts, possibly sweatshirts, possibly mugs with the podcast branding on. And it won't just be this podcast, it will be the previous one as well, the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. So I'll put both of them up there as well. Because if you're,
That's
through
awesome.
and
That's a
through
great
Marvel,
idea.
and that's Michael Munshaw's, that is as well. So if you buy one of the Michael Munshaw's one, I'm going to make sure he gets a little bit of that coin as well.
That's
Which is only fair.
Very cool.
So there we go. So that's coming. And yes, that's about it. So 2025. I mean, this episode is called 2025. What a year, eh?
What a year.
What a
Went
year.
by fast.
It has, but it hasn't. It's weird. It feels like a really long year, and yet it doesn't feel like any time at all since, well, the first point on my thing, the first quarter, those EPAC sales. After Upper Deck lost the Marvel license, but they could still sell EPAC product, Marvel licensed, until 31st of March. Would I be right in thinking, Josh, you probably didn't go in for any of that, because it wasn't really a lot of the products you go for, is it?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes when the stars align on EPAC, and then I'm in heavy masterpieces and a few other things, some of the Fleer Ultra stuff and metal, but luckily I was able to kind of stay away. They weren't on my radar, but there were some really good sales. So we were kind of wondering how far it was going to go with a lot of these. And they sold a lot quick. I don't believe they sold out everything.
No, they didn't. I mean, they sold out a fair bit. What did they sell out? Well, I'll tell you what they did sell out. They sold out Hawkeye. I know that. They sold out. What else? You know what? I've been to sleep since then. I can't remember any of the others off the top of my head. Don't think
it was
Shang-Chi
another
went.
smaller set. Yeah.
And I know Unbound Year 4 didn't sell out. They didn't sell out Eternals. I know that much.
So it kind of boggles the mind as to what was the end. What was the end result of that unsold product that now can't be moved and certainly, hopefully, still exists somewhere.
Well, I don't know.
But
I
guess
it might not.
I guess my guess is Upper Decks. Well, yeah, if they have any sort of storage or long term.
I think they have to be pretty ruthless. I think a lot of stuff does go in the shredder.
Jeez, that's tough to think about.
Which
it really is.
I know sounds awful, but I'm just thinking of my baby, Eternals. Just thinking about the number of printing plates that didn't pop. Quite a few Black 101s that didn't pop. Some of those more limited cards. I know that. Well, for example, my mind turns to sets that didn't make EPAC on the Marvel license. I was looking at it earlier on. I was looking at the checklist for She-Hulk. Now, might not have been everyone's cup of tea, that show, but
No.
it's a pretty decent little set. And it's got some really, really nice inserts, and the autos are a great design as well. And on the checklist, it gives EPAC codes. So that was destined for EPAC. Of course, never made it, but they would have still held back that stock for EPAC. So, there's an awful lot that... Oh, the fire's gone out. No, the fire's gone out. Hang on a minute. Let me get that going again.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, come on. What have you got? Keep an eye on the fire, will you?
Right. Someone stoked the fire.
Yeah, someone stoked the fire. So I'm tempted. Hang on a minute. Yeah. They're calling us in for prayer, but we're not going to go. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay here by the fire where it's warm. Not going out there. Churches are cold.
Did any of those sales reach Pack Wars, or did they stay away from Pack Wars?
No, they didn't. Well, that's the thing. I don't think there was much. No, nothing. Pack Wars was running Marvel after
at that point,
31st of December last year. But of course, it's not every product. But for example, if you think about the what could have beenness, I'm pretty sure. I don't know for sure, but. Can you imagine if Masterpieces 92 Platinum had made Pack Wars? I mean, I don't think it was built for it, but it would have been hilarious fun to play that. I know Marvel Beginning 2.2 would have been on Pack Wars, like 2.1 was. There was obviously a Marvel annual set that came out physical only and didn't make 2 pack with the most gorgeous Black Cat art. Whereas, that one with all the different images of Black Cat. So, there's a lot that just didn't get there. Let me think, what else? I'm sure Avengers Metal would have had a bigger drop. On
Absolutely.
EPAC. Masterpieces Platinum definitely would have had a bigger drop on EPAC. I mean, they were made available on there, but I think pretty small proportion they managed to get scanned and up. So it's but it's hard to believe that was only still the year that we're in as we record.
It is.
It feels like so long ago now.
Right.
I almost wonder if some of the stuff they had to, the stuff that didn't show up. I mean, they're still allowed. I mean, I guess I don't know what they're allowed to do, but I almost wonder if they could still package it into boxes and send it off to distributors, or I mean, I guess they couldn't, right? Like they couldn't anything that's left over.
Yeah, I mean, I know. We all hope that yes, they could send it to like a retail repack kind of vibe, like they did with those Walmart mystery boxes a few years ago.
Well, I was just going to say the Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the harsh truth of it is, I think it's all had to be junked.
And what does that say for true set collectors that wanted to? I mean, I guess maybe it's not as popular as some, but some of those to get all the. I don't know. It's kind of hurts my soul a little bit.
I mean, I'm one of them for one of those sets. On Eternals, I'll never be able to. I'll be able to get I've already got a good chunk of that set, and I'm very happy with it the way it's built. But I'll never, only if stuff pops up in physical boxes, or that might be locked on EPAC that I just don't know is there. Will I make any more inroads into that? And it's the same. It's like the episode we did about how do I collect without EPAC. You've got to rely on your physical. You've got to keep an eye on eBay. You've got to keep an eye on ComC, because people do just break stuff and mail it into there. And think sets like She-Hulk, sets like Loki, the stuff's out there, but there's just a lot less of it. I mean, there's some cards that I'm chasing from She-Hulk that I've still never seen. Almost every week I'm sending a screenshot to friends on thingy saying, "Oh, I didn't know they did that auto style." For She-Hulk, because there's no other way I'd know unless I see the image. So, Yeah, it's a weird one. But I tell you what, though, I think everyone's wallet's had a chance to recover.
Yeah. No case purchases this year. Didn't have anything that was going to be a must where I had to jump ahead and, secure a case and it's also led to, story of my 2025, especially in the beginning of the year, was I started set collecting, especially with the, some things changing, the rebranding, that we ourselves went through. I started going into things like the Mega Man sets, the Godzilla sets, some of these small sets that are, and discover like, Kakawao and some of these other companies that are making pretty awesome cards at a price point that was just, totally different. It was refreshing in a sense too. Whew, I was getting a little hot. There's a fire gun.
Yeah, no. I've stoked it. Sorry.
That's that guy. But yeah, so gotten a chance to collect some of the the Disney stuff, some of the Disney top stuff, and which is a little bit larger, but go into different IPs has been pretty fun. I'm still a Marvel psychopath, and that's never going to change. But it's been cool to start to see some of these other sets and get a little bit of experience on how these different companies build sets.
That was one thing.
Not just from like.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Wes. No, I was just going to say that was one point.
That was one thing that I noticed is. It's the delay.
Right, Josh, pause 1 second. Wesley, go.
That was one talking point I was gonna bring up, is that it like left us in a little bit of a limbo for a minute, and then everybody had to kind of evolve or expand to either if you're a Marvel guy and you wanted to stick with Upper Deck, you had to go to maybe looking at DC, or if you were a Marvel guy and you wanted to stick with Marvel, you went to Tops. If you were just disgusted with all of it, you expanded out a little bit and you looked at maybe Magic or some of the other things that are out there. I mean, you just had to find your own way, stick with something, but or maybe finish up some of those like they were talking about, just finishing up some of those sets that you didn't get to finish, because some of the stuff out there people are dumping on ePack right now are going for probably 1/10 of what they were a year ago or 2 years ago. So it's a lot easier to find those.
Buyer's market.
Yeah, find those things and fill in those holes, if you know what I mean.
I'm doing a lot of that. Yeah. Set collecting and in life. And it's, but yeah, it is interesting to see, because I can't help but pay attention to how these cards are made and any differences I see in printing and medium and the catalyst, whatever it is. And some of these other companies that are definitely smaller are really putting their best foot forward. They're making some beautiful cards. Interesting to see other company perspectives on what's a good size for a set, high series, low series. Oh yeah.
Actually, on that note, just very quickly, I'm not going to give any numbers out here, but Wesley, did you hit that bonus last Sunday for working?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Get to it. It just reminded me, Josh mentioning Kakawao. There's a green out of 25 Aura Black Cat PSA 10. Just hit eBay and it's $99. I was going to send you the link, but I completely forgot. I wasn't sure if you were spending. Wow. I think it's PSA 10. It's either that or PSA 9. But either way, for $99 for an out of 25,
yeah,
it's like, go get it. So if you can't find it, let me know afterwards, and I'll send you a link. But yeah, so yeah, there are deals to be had, because people have kind of like, I think a lot of people just not a lot of people. It is true that some collectors go onto EPAC and will buy almost anything that moves. You know, they're in it. They like that kind of thing, that vibe. So I think a lot of those people who might not have been necessarily massively wedded to a set, you know, have definitely let that stuff go either in trade or in sale. You know, over the months since EPAC finished, for less. You know, I've seen a lot of commentary saying that Marvel trading is dead on EPAC now. You know, 9 months after the fact, and I think that's possibly to be expected because some people who were just collecting Marvel have kind of exited. You know, taken the stuff they want from their account, moved everything to ComC, and then just left the account dormant. So that's definitely happened. There's one thing that you mentioned just now, Josh, that I thought was interesting. You know, obviously, you know, this podcast pivoted is the word I've got written down here. You know, I didn't just want to carry on talking about Marvel. Oh, thank goodness that fire's out. People down the street didn't put theirs out in time, and you can hear what's happening. You know, they're in a lot of Barney rubble. They are. But anyway.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Like a kid in a candy store.
Exactly. There's a lot of content creators did that pivot. You know, kind of who'd just been focusing on Marvel. Now I've kind of always dabbled with other stuff. I think Wesley, you definitely have, because I've found out very recently that you've been dabbling with Magic the Gathering for a while. I never knew that until that episode. I was kind of like, well, in fact, that's the last time you were with us. Actually, I think it was that Magic episode, and I was like, you dark horse, but it's interesting because that kind of ties in for me as well. So it's the one thing I really realised with 2025, and this is a personal thing, was partly illustrated by going to the National and what a big deal that is, and obviously with the vast billions or whatever that the sports trading card industry is worth in America. I did read a stat, and it's something crazy. It's how much bigger the hobby is than the corner that I'd been playing in and the podcast had been focusing on. You know, not just on the non-sports side, but the whole. You know, it's a big universe out there. Lots of different things going on, lots of different content creators focusing on different stuff. And, you know, it's not that I wasn't aware of it. I just never kind of, you know, I'd kind of been perfectly happy playing in this little area here. And I think a lot of collectors had, maybe on the Marvel side. You know, it's kind of like, I don't think there's anything wrong to, you know, vive la différence, you know. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just my perception of it as well. So much so.
When you go to an event like that,
Mm.
it can be eye-opening, you know, to see how big the community really is and how much more there is. We're swimming in really great waters over here, and it's been a lot of fun. It's you know, ebbs and flows, but times like this when there's a little bit of, you know, lack of either release or stuff that really is going to grab you, you have a chance to go out and kind of expand and see some of these other sets and some of these other IPs. It's been a exploring year.
And you know, I've loved that. You know, so much so. I was about to say, this week I rather, not foolishly, I embraced it. I did it. I had a YOLO moment. I've booked tickets to come to the National again next year.
Did you?
Yes, in Chicago. It's in Chicago again. So from my point of view, it's good because I know what I'm doing now. You know, with regards to flying to Chicago. Reps. So yeah, so I've actually already booked my flight. That's booked. That's a direct flight this time. None of that 4-hour layover in New York on the way out, malarkey.
Right.
Direct flight. I'm actually already reserved, although I don't yet have to pay for it, so I could change hotel. The same gaff, because I'm like, you know what? I can just get there and I can just focus on just enjoying the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is a good move.
So, but you know, yeah, no, I'm not expecting to come away with loads of cards because I didn't really last year.
Right.
For me, it's about being around people, getting inspired by stuff, seeing what's out there, meeting people. Obviously meeting guys from Upper Deck, meeting people from PSA.
I was just going to ask, who do you
Yeah.
expect to be there again this year when you go?
In terms of people that we know in the hobby, or in terms of
Yes.
people who kind
like
of
staff,
work
like
in the hobby.
Jason T. Yeah.
Well, I don't know who from Upper Deck's going yet. I'm not sure if even they know at this point. I'm sure they've got it all
really?
booked
Okay.
up. But the thing is, it's a bit of a busy season for them around that time because they've got San Diego Comic Con, they've got Gen Con, they've got the National. And in fact, Gen Con was the same weekend as the National last time. So I know that they had to split their staff between the two. Wesley, was that a cat?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, with you and your soundboard, you don't know. Like right now, you could just.
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't me this time. It absolutely wasn't me.
I have an older cat that he's been with me for. He's been with me for Little Boots. He's been with me for 10 years, and then I have a newer cat, and they just bother each other all day long.
Oh, really?
But
yeah.
The little one mess with the big one a lot.
Oh no.
The older one. Sorry about that.
No, quite all right. I've got no problem with cat sounds on the podcast. I don't have any cat sounds that I can then play. But
I was waiting for
I was gonna say,
No, I mean the closest I've got
a lion or.
I mean, I've got a hyena. I don't know why I've got a hyena of all the animals that I've got on here.
That's terrifying.
It's a weird sounding creature, is it?
They are.
Yeah.
They are weird.
I mean, you might know them from such films as The Lion King. But there they are. Update. I don't know. Well, I met Tim from BCW last year, and he's a character.
Very cool.
Who else? Chris Carlin, who was at Upper Deck, who now works at PSA. I'm hoping to be able to say hello to him because I only saw him very briefly. And apart from that, I don't know. I mean, it's months away yet, so I'm sure a lot of the companies that go haven't kind of, they know they're going, but I'd be surprised if they'd worked out the logistics of these people are going and they're going to be there on these days, that kind of thing. So it's a bit too far out yet. But in terms of people in the hobby, we know obviously Greg, Rebel Base Card Podcast, he lives like 20 minutes away. So,
Beautiful.
I'll obviously be seeing him again. I think Amanda, the Graded Gamer, is going. Beyond that, who knows? I don't know. It's months away, yeah? I mean, we're talking end of July. We're 8 months out from it. So, but, I'm just looking forward to just kind of being in that kind of atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah.
There
was a point I remember, like the first year I went to Comic-Con, that I just in New York, and you're just surrounded by all these people, and you're like, these are my people. It's just, those spaces sometimes get intoxicating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's unbelievable. Like I'm a crazy fan of good data, and there's no way you can't go to an event like MegaCon, New York Comic-Con, any of the big ones, and not learn a lot. If you're really open and you're walking through, I think with the right, mindset, you learn all this stuff about whatever, even the hobby you're in and others, just because the diversity of people, backgrounds, product that may have slipped past you, it's not gonna there if you really do a good sweep grid style. So yeah, that's one thing I remember. My favorite thing about those events is just, man, did I learn a lot and had a blast every time.
Well, the thing for me is that last year was kind of, a kind of overwhelming because I've never been to the National, but obviously I've never been to Chicago either. So, you've kind of got all that newness. So, there's only so much bandwidth you can got. This year, I can tune all that out. That's kind of background because I've been there before. I'm still going to enjoy my time there. I'm going to go into the city, probably do one of those architectural boat cruises or whatever, all that sort of stuff. Probably find some new places to eat, all that stuff. But I'll kind of know, okay, I want to do this on this day, and I'm definitely want to do that because I didn't do it last year, or I want to do that because I did do it last year and stuff. So,
Yeah. Focus your energy more on
yeah,
the event.
yeah, and it's not going to be part of a family holiday. It's just going to be me flying out and then flying back, and then my
There you go.
my wife has given me blessings to go off and travel, young man, and I'll fly back the day before my daughter's birthday, and then I made sure my flight was. I'm doing the red eye back, so
Mhm.
so I can be there in time. But I tell you one of the other interesting things about this year, as well as that pivot of content creators. I've seen a fair, and I don't know, maybe this is just the way it goes, but with the advent of whatnot and the whole kind of breaker mentality and the fanatics way, maybe that's the way of thinking about it, is also the monetization of content creators. How much of that has been? I mean, that's not new to this year. That's been happening for a few years now, certainly on the Marvel side.
But its
I don't
awareness
know.
really
It's
came
yeah,
to a
it's
head this year.
yeah, yeah. It's fascinating.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know how much I've got to say about that. I've just written it down as a bullet point. I just wondered if what you've seen about that shift, how you've perceived it, and whether
I
you're not,
I really
you know.
think that there is a big shift going on. There's a lot of people understanding that regardless of what you might be involved in, branding and other things are important. And when it comes to people now getting into these professional dashboards, if you will, and making content based, with the idea of a return. Um, it is a little wild west and will be for a little bit, but I think there's a opportunity for when people get experienced with something different like this and they take it seriously. um, they can see that there's opportunity now to create a brand, and carry that over. It doesn't have to be stuck to just one thing. But everything you sort of do in business and social media and all that other stuff considered, an investment in yourself and you don't want to sell like a shameless self promoter saying, in your own brand or anything like that, but you are your own, incorporated, you're your own LLC. And the stuff that you do, um, professionally, social media, all that stuff, it carries. So, um, I've seen a lot more people paying a lot of attention to their, creating a brand, trying to wrap their mind around stuff that probably they wouldn't have done before.
Yeah.
Um, so
I feel like
yeah, I think it's
it's
good. I
almost.
think it's good knowledge. People,
I was just gonna say, I feel like it with everything being so easy to get to, it's kind of made people have a short attention span. If something comes up and it feels monetized, you can just switch to something else, and it's a little scary because it makes me think that maybe there's not as much loyalty out there as there's been in the past. But um, you know, everything kind of figures itself out. We just because I do see that you there's feels like there's a lot more ads out there lately, and everybody wants to jump on the next big thing, so they start monetizing it just in case it is the next big thing. And I don't know, it feels a little weird sometimes. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, we're in that whatnot era, aren't we, with it's gone beyond just the storefront. eBay's given people the ability to do that for 2 decades now. It's gone
yeah,
beyond that. It's
yeah,
about
it's
the
on another
opportunity to
level.
have that. Yeah, but it's that live selling thing. Have you seen the movie Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels?
I have. It's been a long time ago.
Probably a while ago. But there was a bit, and this I've seen this. It happens in London, where there's literally a van pulls up, and there's these blokes just standing on the back of it selling perfume or whatever like that. or stuff like that, and they're just giving it all the gab. And there's like people, they're drumming up the enthusiasm for stuff, and it's kind of like that. Is how I perceive it. Everyone's kind of got. I saw some interesting things where someone posted in one of the groups the other day saying, "Oh, this is my setup. It's pretty basic. What kind of thing do I need to be looking at?" So people are wanting to get this right.
Yeah.
And people are wanting to do it. But yeah, it is still a bit of Wild West. I was I was watching. Instagram constantly throws me sound bites from much bigger hobby commenters than this podcast. Have got far bigger reach. Sound bites where they're talking about such and such doing shady stuff on over here, and such doing repacks wrong over here. So I think there's so much out there now. It's like that 99 channels, but there's nothing to watch kind of thing. But you can just flip over to the next one and to the next one
Right.
and to the next one, and that's crikey. Do you remember people used to it stopped just after COVID because of the takeoff of like more content creators certainly in the non-sport space and the Marvel space, but also with the rise of things like StreamYard and whatnot coming in. But people used to do box breaks in the groups, like live videos on Facebook. I can't remember the last time someone did one of those.
I used to do them.
Yeah, Josh, you remember? It was like back in the day, like 2018, 2019.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah, even before then, that was the spot to do especially a masterpiece box break and just have fun with it. When it was just all we were trying to do was share data. Like all we were trying to do is say, okay, this is what's out there. This is what I've hit. These are some of the new parallels. This is how the cards look. There was very few of us were involved in either a company at that point or had moved further on, and it was just pure box breaks on the group.
Yeah, just showing your box opening effectively.
Yeah,
right.
And that brings up that point where you can do it that way and just share with people, or you can break the box and put it on your site and try to get more personal viewers, or you have that decision to make to monetize it. You can either give it away for free, or you can put it onto Whatnot and try to make some money.
Well, yeah, I suppose it does. I mean, I was going to say it feels like a very American kind of drive to hustle and earn a buck kind of vibe, and I don't mean that in a dismissive way, but it is very much that there is an aspect of American culture that is very much like that. But it's not just us. Whatnot and streams and that kind of thing is big in Europe now, especially with there's a big NFL scene in Europe now, and obviously the soccer cards that Panini pull out from all the European leagues like Champions League and things like that. So that scene exists elsewhere. It's not just there, and it's not just sports as well. TCG. I think there's an aspect of me becoming more aware of stuff as my kind of lens has widened. But it does feel like TCG is really, really been motoring in the last year or so.
Yes.
In Pokemon.
Absolutely agree. Mm-hmm.
It's going absolutely gangbusters.
Pokemon, and really, that's been part of my 2025 exploration. Is I've come into a ton of Pokemon, some Gen 1 shadowless and stuff. So I've really had to kind of research this, and educate myself on how this goes. Everything from their metal cards, that they were actually one of the first doing metal cards, not as we see them, but they're the McDonald's promotion cards. And then later and shortly after that, they actually were making a really nice metal card product. And XL card. But theirs were right around 22 for XLs. But going into some of that stuff has been one of my big 2025, especially the later part of this year, is kind of going in and figuring out what's really sought after, what moves, what are people looking for, and it's a whole huge world. And that really turned me on to One Piece. And so what I've seen with One Piece in this last year, I can only with serial numbering come to their world. Everything that's happening with them, with their big box hits and case hits, it is a mirror, an echo of what we were experiencing in like 18, 19, when people kept going, oh my God, these 2016 oranges are worth what? Just how everything was exploding. One Piece is absolutely going through that this year. It's really come to a head. They've gotten artists that are in their anime world, like your Sana Yu's and your popular anime names that carry weight. They've corralled a few of them in from other places like Dragon Ball and some other IPs that are pretty popular. And now One Piece is got serial numbering on their top tier hits. Some of their box hits, manga cards are bringing in 3, 4, 5,000 for Luffy's graded. It's incredible, really, to see what's going on in the One Piece world. Every retailer down here that has Pokemon, no matter how much Pokemon gets crushed, they're still there. There's going to be boxes and tins there, like it or not. Even we have craziness going on here with like big camera systems and people standing there making sure nobody takes more than 1 or 2 boxes, or it's going to be a TikTok video, people punching each other in the face in a Target.
I saw one of them a few weeks
but
back,
this is
actually.
real. This is what's happening. This is what's happening down here. Pokemon, you'll still find boxes. They will be there. The one thing you will see other than Marvel, usually ghosted and gone, or a couple boxes hidden around the back. Make sure you lift the thing, and there's usually the employees stashed a couple around the back. But anyways, right, if you see boxes in like a castle, like a little sandcastle shape or something, slide them over. There's probably an Avengers medal or something hiding in the middle of there. But one thing that is absolute crickets, sand with tumbleweed going by, is the One Piece section of every place I go to, no matter what. People are buying these at an absolutely alarming rate, and we're talking blasters, not even hobby boxes and stuff with calculable hits that you can really kind of do what I call the card math or the card algebra with. These are blasters that people are, obviously, we know it's the same setup for them with their blasters. You can catch a manga, you can catch some of these super rares and SSPs, but it's very unlikely. Yet people are crushing these One Piece blasters at any place they exist. So that's been my big.
I was just gonna say it's funny you say that, because I like a year ago I found a couple of them at Walmart, and they had a special like artist box, and I think Peach Momoko had done some One Piece stuff there and I picked up a couple of those boxes just because there wasn't anything else there to buy, so I might have to go back through that and find. That's what I've really been trying to focus on this year. Is what I used to do is, if I went to a Walmart or something on the way home and they didn't have any Marvel, I would or didn't have any football, maybe soccer, then I would pick up a box of Pokemon and just come home and just put it off to the side. And I've got a bunch of unopened Pokemon set back, but I went through some of the stuff that I had open just for fun, and I found that I had a Bubble Mew, which is like, if it's graded, it's a $2,000 card. But I've just been going back through that stuff, and I didn't know what I had. Send it out and focus on that stuff a little bit.
You got to do a little bit of research and it's not just like our world, Wes, that we come from, where we're so used to being able to look at a card and we have an estimated value in our head, not even just on what market, but eBay, group, all that stuff, right? In this world, their hits are very different. It can be just an alternate art, stuff like these alt art cards are bringing in a ton of money on One Piece, and you might not, because of the serial numbering just now starting to show up on what we're at, like OP 13 or something like that is where we're at now. Serial numbering is showing up, so it's kind of builds a little bit of education into the system as far as what their parallels are, how rare they are and stuff. But as of now, you really have to look closely, because the difference between an S as just being a special and then like their SSPs and ultra rares are sometimes tough to discover. As far as it can just be an alt image or something like that, but it brings a ton of money, because Red Cheeks Pikachu is a kind of another example of it just happens to the Moonbryon card, the Embryon that has this big moon scene and the castle behind it and stuff. It was never destined to be a $1,500, $2,000 card graded, but it became so big after the popularity of the art really hit, like when they crushed it on one of their art selections for that alt image. So yeah, it's a little different. You got to kind of like make sure you check a few different places. I've gone past cards so many times messing with One Piece and Pokemon that I bring somebody in to, a buddy, to sit down with me and kind of go through, and he's like, dude, well, what are you doing? This is, and I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, go through those, double check, triple check.
Back to the organization podcast that we had. I got to get some of this stuff a little bit better organized.
Well, certainly my project for the upcoming Christmas break, because I've got 2 weeks off from work. Two and a bit. It's just the way the year falls. Plus, I've taken some vacation time. So, yeah, I'm just on Operation Sort Shit Out, basically. I mean, I'm still like I'm still shedding skin is the way I think about it. Like Josh, I never thought I'd part with Masterpieces 2016. Yet here I am. I've just put it on sale because I've enjoyed it. But I've got the book, and much as I love the art, it's not a set that sings to me in the way that 2018 does, for example.
It's my favorite.
I'm just kind of keeping the stuff that means the most, because I found that when I started looking through stuff a few years ago, when I started trimming down my Marvel collection, I was like, there's stuff that you collect because you're really, really super into it, and then there's an awful lot of stuff you collect just because it's there. Just to collect it, and it's like, and I'm kind of, and also your tastes change. We've talked about this before, so.
Absolutely.
What I'm collecting now, and what gives me the most joy, and where I see the most value for me. I don't mean value in terms of financial, but what's bringing me the most kind of value from a card. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. The new No Time to Die set, the James Bond one, the Force Watch costume relics of some of the characters. I'm like, bring it on. For me that feels
right. Gotta have
nice.
that.
It feels special. And what's the old expression? One man's meat is another man's poison. So, but that's fine. Everyone likes different things. I mean, you've just been espousing enthusiastically about One Piece for the last 10 minutes, and I love that you're really into that, and that you've got something new that's kind of exciting you and keeping you interest in the hobby. It doesn't matter what it is. So I think we all go through that. So, but yeah, I'm going to be going through and
sometimes you just
a lot of stuff.
chase.
Oh, we lost you.
Sometimes
for a second,
I just
Josh.
get up. Hold on.
No, you're back.
You got me?
It's just a massive
check.
delay. That's all. Your delay's back, but carry on.
All right. Well, sometimes it's just that energy is kind of like what you were speaking to, where you're looking for the joy, and when you see something like you experienced with Marvel in 2016, when you see a market exploding a fan base that's working so desperately to educate themselves. They're going, okay, hey, we watch these guys. We've seen what can happen to our, to our little niche in this hobby. And how can we learn from what thankfully is a library of information on it being done previously, the pros, the cons, the good and the evil of such crazy expansion in such short period of time. And when you're talking about some markets that happen to be global truly, and One Piece being just a massive following, and all their episodes and things like that, Pokemon, other stuff like that, there's opportunity for such a quick growth in such short period of time. And it's fun to see all these new collectors going, oh my God, what do we do now? How do I collect? How do I go about chasing some of these box and case hits? And how do I go about protecting them, grading them? These people are blasting off questions like crazy, and it's just bright burning fires, which subsequently been shining some light on that whole thing for me, and they caught my attention that way. So yeah, that's my excitement in it, is to see something that's on such a big wave of expansion, and to kind of, I've got people asking me questions about their hobby, and I'm like, okay, this is what I do over here, and this is how I would, with what I'm seeing, how I'd advise you to move forward. But you guys are going through this, I've seen this before. And so everyone there is like really tapped into the matrix, and they're all like just uploading information as much as they can to try to catch up. So that's cool.
So I'm just I'm gonna do what you are, Wesley. When hopefully, do you have any time off, Wesley, over the holiday period?
Man, actually, I'm really lucky this year. This with the dealership being a little smaller, Josh will tell you. Normally, right after Christmas, between Christmas and the New Year, is the busiest time of the year. It's Toyota has their Toyotathon, and Honda has whatever. But anyway, this dealership's a little smaller, and he's closing like 4 days after. I mean, the next 4 days after Christmas, we have that whole weekend. So,
wow.
Yes, make a long story short, it's going to be. I'm going to have a few days to kind of relax and do some sorting.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to do that, and it's a very kind of traditional time of year to do that. People often talk about turning over to a new year and all that sort of stuff, and focusing on what you might want to be doing. I mean, for my part, I'm going to be going through and taking out any other sets and elements that I don't think I'd want to keep going forward, and setting them to one side and going, right, okay, what is my collection shape? And just like, it's almost like taking the Rubik's Cube and giving it a few turns, see if you can make a different color with one of the sides. But I think it's fun to do that as well, and get some stuff in new cases, get some stuff in new top loaders, and just make it shiny. I mean, it doesn't hurt the fact that I'm about to get a big ComC order land here tomorrow. So by the time this episode is released, I don't know. I think I'm going to do a live opening of the ComC order at some point in the next few days.
That'll be cool.
I think I'll probably do it on the podcast YouTube, actually. So yeah, so that's going to happen, and then I'll have all that to sort out. So it'd be fun.
When you do that too, you run across stuff that you forget you had too.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's probably about a fifth of what I've got on ComC ready to ship home, but I had all the MCU autos and a lot of Black Cat stuff. So Wesley's antenna just twitched.
Do you put all your are all your Black Cat stuff? Is it all in a binder? How do you?
I've got 5 slipcase binders that it's in.
That's.
You guys have both. Have you guys both opened some? I know Ian, but Wes, you opened some Batman metal?
No, I walked by and I saw some at Target last night, and I was this close to buying it, but I was.
Yeah,
It's fun,
I'm
and
yeah
it's
I'm
damn good quality for the most
yeah
part.
I'm
Is it?
three blasters in, and I'm trying to snag a Harley Quinn card for Carrie. So just
It's,
look at
yeah.
like I like it. I think the some of the art is cool,
Yes.
and the cards look sharp, look nice.
Mm.
And then the parallels, they've got some fun ones. The Arkham Asylum with it really does kind of, especially when somebody takes the picture right. It really does with the plexi and then the gate behind and the
Yeah, yeah.
entrance to the asylum. It's really nice.
I have to.
Um,
Yeah. I'll check it out. I know that I watched. Superman and how they're marketing Supergirl, uh, and it looks like kind of pulling me in a little bit. Have
yeah,
you?
I've not watched that trailer yet. It's on my
Yeah,
list. Actually.
I haven't watched it either. I just saw
Yeah.
like bits and pieces of it, and her.
Right.
If you haven't seen the movie, have you seen Superman?
I have now. Yes.
Okay,
mhm,
yeah, her at the end of the of the movie,
Yes.
kind of being a little bit of a mess, and
yeah.
uh,
Getting sick on the way over, flying too fast, buzzed.
yeah,
Like,
and then
yeah,
it's just it's interesting.
doing the walk of shame and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a different take on Supergirl,
And I
certainly.
saw that actress, and I watched all the Game of Thrones, and she's in the newest one with the Targaryens, as
Oh, is she?
one of
I've
the
not
younger.
watched any of those. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I mean, I liked it. It's pretty good. It's got some good characters, some good moments. Yeah, so I would put it on a recommend list for sure, especially with the other stuff they got coming up
Cool.
here soon. And Rittenhouse has put together some pretty good character, some costume character cards. Like
Yes.
they do a great job with that stuff too, and the on card autos they do. It's kind of a cool tie-in to some of that stuff. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
Mm.
Good.
No. Well, it's a perfect opportunity to kind of segue into, is there anything you're kind of looking forward to for 2026 in terms of releases, or any kind of directions you might be thinking of going in, or I don't know, you're just kind of sitting back and waiting for it to kind of flow over you in the non-rude way.
Mm.
I'm Go ahead, Josh.
So I'm going to continue exploring and with the One Piece. I'm going to keep going while this is so crazy. I know that there's a couple releases that are going to be pretty big ones. I think towards the mid part of the year or the end of the year. So it's gonna be a little calm in the beginning. So I'll look for One Piece. I'm gonna keep getting the Godzilla stuff finished up because that's super cheap and just kind of a personal niche thing. There's nothing real crazy there as far as
Mm-hmm.
hits to even be had. Um, Also, the monster masterpieces. So I got some more of those because they're just fun. They're masterpieces. You could make a masterpiece card on anything, I think, and it works. And these are pretty awesome. The Kraken, the Bigfoot, Yeti, and then the battle specters in
Yeah.
their world is also kind of cool. The Bigfoot and Yeti battling. Some of this stuff is fun. So I got a couple little things like that to do. And then display, kind of go over with getting rid of some stuff, getting some more stuff, and how it always goes. It's definitely have some reorganizing to do with some of the furniture and displays and racks. So but we'll get there.
I've kind of been focusing on, when it comes to cat right now, just trying to find, either some of the, or is it Aura or Aurora? Aura? AURA?
Oh.
Stuff.
You mean the Kakao
Aura.
Aura?
Kakao, yeah.
Yeah.
Focusing on that a little, and then trying to find the 194 serial number cats. That's if I see something that which I haven't for about 6 or 8 months.
I love that you're chasing those. I mean, it's such a cool idea.
I've got 5 of them now, but it's tough. Then I've also quietly, and I don't know if this is probably might hurt me in the long run, but the Allure White Diamond cards,
Yes.
like I've been collecting either they're numbered out of 50, and if I run across the Alpha or the Omega, and I can get it at the good price, I pick it up, and I've got 15 of them right now that are either numbered 1 or 50.
Nice.
So I figure if I could put together a set like that, that'd be kind of different. But then there also is, I think, 150 of them, so it might take a little while.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I've been doing lately that I'm really hoping that they will come out with. So there's a game called Dispatch. Have any of you heard of this game?
No.
So it is it's a lot like a setup of like Invincible. So it's a game, but it's a game that you play choose your own adventure. If you're our age, basically as you're going, it's a story. The story plays out, and then you get to a situation where you've got 3 choices. You choose one of those, it takes you on to something else. But as the story plays out, you're this superhero that had you were a superhero that had a special cube that helps you get an Iron Man suit, basically, and you lost the cube, and your dad's been a superhero for a while. Anyway, the story's really good so far, and it's got a lot of good ratings. The voice actors, it has the guy from Breaking Bad, the kid Aaron Paul.
Oh
yes.
And then it's also got it's got some good people in it. But I've been playing it, and I'm like 3 episodes in. It's really fun, and a lot of people are starting to talk about it. But I'm just wondering. It's called Dispatch. Yeah.
Dispatch. Okay.
Yes. Check it out. You're gonna be like, oh wow, that's awesome. I'm glad Wes mentioned that. If you're listening to this podcast,
Wes recommends.
If you're listening to this podcast 6 months from now, hopefully they're talking about coming out with a card set for it. I know they've done video games in the past. I think it'd be pretty cool. But the fact that you can play it more than once and make different decisions, and those decisions define the story, and it is literally like a choose your own adventure. And the art, I don't know if you say that for, it's just, and it's also very adult. Some of the situations are very adult. I mean, not X-rated adult, but maybe NC-17. I don't know why I thought that was so funny. But that's what I'm looking forward to this year.
That's the main thing. As long as you're happy. That was Wesley's recommendation. There we go.
Very cool.
Marvelous. I'm going to put the fire back on. I'm getting a bit cold.
Ian, aren't you? You have to put Marvel Studios. You're talking about.
Yeah, you've gone all mutey. You've gone all mutey.
Oh, sorry.
That's better. There
There
we
he
go.
is.
There he is.
The Marvel Studios, is it set to for the Topps release?
Oh, the Topps Chrome. That's their first Marvel Studios release. I looked at the auto list, and I'm in trouble, Josh. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that it would be a lot of. Well, there are a lot that have signed already for Upper Deck that I have that I don't really kind of feel the need to own. But then,
Okay.
in fact, let me pull up the spreadsheet on this. I mean, we will do an episode where we look at this. I think it's dropping
Oh yeah,
like imminently. I think it's out.
it's
I can't
very
even
soon.
now or now-ish. Very soon, yeah.
Hmm.
Because I've noticed a lot more people talking about it. Let me just bring up the. There we go. I've got a spreadsheet. My spreadsheet card chases, not car, but card. And I dropped. So first of all, I dropped the number of autos from the checklist into a spreadsheet. The number of different actors that are signing. Okay, and it is 118 of them. Okay, so there's a
Oh my
lot.
God.
That's a big spread. Okay, and there
Wow.
are people that haven't. So when I filter it down to ones that I need, let me just quickly count this. Right, hang on a second. 56 of them I've got on my need list because they haven't been done before. So, for example, Andy Serkis has never signed as Ulysses Claw from Black Panther.
All right.
He signs loads, but he's never signed for that. Anthony Hopkins has signed as Odin.
Wow.
Who else you got? Benicio del Toro has signed as the Collector from Guardians.
Jeez, that's gonna
Carl
be a big
Lumley
Wow.
from
That's
Falcon and Winter Soldier and Captain America: Brave New World. Kate Blanchett has signed as Hela from Ragnarok. Charlize Theron has signed as Claire from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Christopher Eccleston has signed as Maliki from For the Dark World. Who else you got? Daphne Keane has signed as X-23 from Logan and Deadpool Wolverine. Fantastic forecast. You've got Eben Moss Bacharach. You've got oh crikey! I think Pedro Pascal's signed. Let me scroll down. Yes, he has.
wow.
Do you see what I mean? So yeah, there's some big. Leslie Uggams is Blind Out from Deadpool. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Lewis Pullman as Central Bob from Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a lot of Daredevil Born Again as well. You've got James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini. You've got Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby has signed for Fantastic Four. I'm just finding her here. You've got the guy who played Colossus in Deadpool Wolverine. You've got Samuel L. Jackson. You've got Sam Rockwell signing for the first time as Justin Hammer. Ryan Reynolds is in there as Deadpool.
wow.
So yeah, there's Rennie Russo is signing as Frigga from 4. So there's so many people that have never signed on Marvel cards. Ralph Ineson as Galactus.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm in.
Jeez,
Paul Rudd
yeah.
is signing for the first time as Ant-Man.
Okay. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I
big.
mean, I keep scrolling down the list, and I'm like, oh my god, there's Mickey Rourke has signed as Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
Okay, so this is
Wow.
a huge kick from what we're used to. And my question is, Ian, why do you think that is? Like we always used to get like, okay, a few more guys jumped on this time. They were able to get a couple more guys and a couple, and now it's become this. Is this the tops thing? Is this the?
Yeah, I think it is. I think
is there reach in that respect?
Yeah, there is. There's money in there as well. I think they're able to pay some of the rates some of these performers will sign. I mean, some of them naturally, you know, if Upper Deck had carried on, I think they'd have still gotten most of those people from Daredevil Born Again, for example. I know that Upper Deck had reached agreement with Vincent D'Onofrio to sign, but for whatever reason, they didn't have the right timing or card imagery. So, you know, there are, you know, I don't think it's entirely fair to say, oh, Upper Deck never got these actors when Born Again came out after Upper Deck had lost the license. Do you see what I mean? And the same with Fantastic Four. But when you look at some of those older movies, you know, I mean, Black Diamond, I'm just trying to think of the last set that did like phases 1 to 3. It's probably Black Diamond and then Allure, and that was it. You know, I think after that, Grant has spoken about the fact that Upper Deck wanted them to move, Marvel wanted them to move and focus on the newer properties rather than go back to the well on the phases 1 to 3. So I think that's clearly, you know, this set is clearly encompassing the very beginning because it's got the guy who played Vincent from Iron Man signing for the first time up until Fantastic Four First Steps. So, you know, it clearly is the whole spectrum of it. And, you know, I don't think it's fair to say, oh, Upper Deck never managed to get all these because, like I said, half of them are from properties after Upper Deck would have, lost the license and stopped spending and stopped chasing and planning in the sets. That said, I think a lot of the others are elements of existing deals that they might have with either the artist representative or the artists themselves, or just more money. Or they've possibly, it could be a case of they've gone looking for stuff that, if you did a list of all the people that signed for Upper Deck, it's pretty easy to say, okay, the people that didn't, right, let's see if we can get some of those. So, I'd do that.
Yeah, right.
What stones are unturned?
Yeah, that's probably one of the first places, step number one. And then, Top's saying, okay, let's try to reach out to see if
exactly
we can get
Michael
else.
Rooker did sign for the first Guardians set, but he's in this one as well. Michael B. Jordan, however, didn't sign for Black Panther. He's in this one. So, there's some there's some names that aren't big names but excite me because I think that they're great, like Olga Kurylenko, who was in that Daniel Craig Bond movie, who was Taskmaster. She signed. So, it's going to be popular, but I don't think it's going to be through the roof. Josh Brolin has signed. Jude Law as Yon-Rogg from Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, Joseph Quinn from Fantastic. They've got all the lead cast of Fantastic Four. So
we all talk about every once in a while, and the MCU is just such an animal, and sometimes it can giveth and taketh away. And thankfully, it giveth way more than taketh away. But Taskmaster was always one of my favorite villains. I just had this small little Taskmaster PC because it was one of my you get caught on for a year or so, you're just hitting a character that is not your guy, and you just catch a whatever. And I was on a Taskmaster wave. And I just embraced it. I was like, dang, all right, I'm going to learn a little bit about this and the adaptive suit, like the technology where like you're fighting somebody and then instantly now you can fight like them. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And they did that a little in the movie with Black Widow where their styles matched after she got like one or two shots in. So I was all about that. And I'm like, man, I'm not super picky. I understand Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. The renovation of the Iron Man suit created the big craze and maybe the MCU. So Taskmaster suit and stuff getting modernized, and I was good with all of it, but the way they did, and even it being casted as a girl, fine, no problem. That's okay. It can work out great. But the way the writing went there was just, I mean, you can't take a solid character like that and not do the character justice by offing them that way.
Yeah.
I think it's I'm glad they took a swing at some of these characters, High Evolutionary from Guardians 3, for example, Adam Warlock from Guardians 3 might not be what people would have expected, but you can't carbon copy lift them from comics to films. There has to be, they have to be believable in that visual medium, and also in that story. Having rewatched Guardians 3, I enjoyed it and those characters a hell of a lot more the second time. So, listen, there's so much there, and it's going to be such an expensive product just by virtue of the fact there's going to be thirst for some of those performers from other people who collect MCU stuff. And there's going to be a lot more crossover appeal with people who just dig collecting actual autos as well. So it's going to be, I can't spend massively in the run up to having made this trip to the National because I've actually booked it without having the money to pay for it all. So, I'm currently selling stuff to pay for the plane ticket, and then I've got to get the hotel money. Then I've got to get some spending money. Do you know what I mean? So
none of us has ever done anything like that before, Ian.
Exactly.
You're a unicorn there, So.
No. But it's a bit YOLO for me, given that I'm normally having to be quite sensible in that regard. Having got the family to support as well. So you got to be done. Got to be done. Most of my collection coming to an eBay near you soon. Not true. I am actually generally trimming down. So yeah. Lots. I mean, listen, there's going to be some fun stuff to look for. I mean, we've got more magic in the Marvel space. That magic set. Oh, there's been some artwork released for that. Did you see Dave Palumbo release his Doctor Doom?
Oh no, I didn't.
From the new magic set coming out in the summer. It looks absolutely incredible.
No, that was something else I had on my list is to talk to Donnie more because
he's coming back.
Okay.
He's
So-
coming back. He's coming back because one of the other artists that Donnie works with has just released a Galactus piece, and it's up for auction at the moment. And
Wow.
it's really good. So there's some really good original art coming in that set, folks. So 2026. If nothing else, you got that to look forward to. You got Topps Chrome Marvel Studios to look forward to. What else we got to look forward to? Let's just think on Upper Deck. On Upper Deck Spectrum, we've got the Boys set is probably still to drop on EPAC. You'll have
I've been
Batman
waiting for
Metal
that to
coming to
kinda-
EPAC. What else will you have? You got Fleer Ultra Superman coming up, which is the first
gonna
DC original art set. Oh, goodness me. What else? Rittenhouse. There's a Star Trek Connections, and there'll be a Star Trek 60th set as well, I believe, because it's the 60th anniversary of Star Trek in 2026. Beyond that, my mind's going blank, but I know there's loads coming.
Yeah.
So maybe we can pick up in January and maybe do a little bit of research and actually not just pull it off the top of my head, and actually do a bit of a preview, see what's coming up.
I
Yeah.
wonder if any of those Marvel Chrome that you were just talking about, Ian, are they going to do any on-card autos? Not that it's a huge difference, but
I
say
honestly don't
anything on
know until it drops. Some of them might be. The reason I say that is because for the recent Topps Chrome Dune set that they put out, most of them were sticker, but Oscar Isaac wasn't. He hard signed on card. So I don't know if that list of autos did have Oscar Isaac in it. That said, they have posted an image of Moon Knight with an Oscar Isaac sticker auto, and it's not his really neat, nice signature that Upper Deck had and that the Dune product had. It looks a lot more. He's done it quickly, so I don't think it was a great preview image to put out, given how beautiful his signature is. So who knows? But there could well be other actors that just by circumstance and the way it's turned out, they've got them on card.
or maybe different
Until it
parallels.
drops, we don't know. I mean, I would assume most of it. I would just assume most of it is going to be sticker.
Yeah. I
If
get it.
If it's
I mean,
on card, then happy days.
Does look like a pretty cool set.
Yeah, it does. It does. I really can't. I've got to be a good boy. I've got
Right.
to be a good boy.
Focus.
But Wesley, if you want to use some of that bonus from last weekend to buy any black cats, now's your time. I give you a good price. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want kebab? I give you chili sauce as well. Marvelous. Any last words? We should probably let these fine people get back to their days, and I should let you get back to your Sundays. 2025 in one word. Wesley, go.
Patience.
Nice. Josh?
Exploration.
In more ways than one, given the stories you've told us.
Oh God.
What would mine be? Mine would be diversity, I think, for 2025. Yeah. And
Patience,
course,
exploration, diversity. That's a good year.
it does sound like a good year. Almost good enough for one of these. Got to be done.
Yes.
Right. All that remains for me to say is Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or Happy Hanukkah or whatever other religion that you choose to practice.
Merry.
Yes. Have a wonderful, wonderful, safe, enjoyable, warm, cozy, and scintillating, so that you vibrate from your toes to your eyebrows, time over the holidays. Josh, are you going anywhere nice? Are you spending it with fam? Are you
Spending it with
What's
family.
happening?
Yep. People coming down. We're in paradise, so people coming down to us. So we'll
Yes.
we'll do some boating, some early presents on the beach and other stuff like that. And it'll be a good one.
Did you say boating or boning?
Boating. Yeah, like we'll
Okay.
do. We'll take a few boats out, and sometimes
All right.
we'll open presents on the beach.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. That whole
It's
concept of warm weather at Christmas. I know Australians have it every year, but it
yeah.
just freaks me out. Wesley, what are you going to be doing on the big day?
I'm going to I've got a new girlfriend, and I'm going over to her daughter's house to open up some presents. She's actually her and her son-in-law are very into this world of collecting, and so I'm kind of excited about doing that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna enjoy
Fucking hell. He kept
White
that quiet,
Elephant.
didn't he, Josh? He kept that quiet.
Yeah,
Oh my
thanks
goodness
for
me.
dropping that one on us. Just like
Yeah.
that.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Could have
as soon
told
as we
us
finish,
like
as soon as we
what.
wrap this up, I want to. Strap yourself down, young man. I want to ask you some questions. Wow. Okay. Well, listen. Thank you, everyone who's stuck with us throughout this year. I know it's been crazy. I know you've got an absolute plethora of content creators to choose from. Some of them do audio, some of them do visual, some of them even break and sell it that way. Whatever you choose, more power to you. But thank you very much for sticking with this. Hoping that 2026 brings all your collecting dreams to fruition. And yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you,
I'm
everybody.
I'm going to, on behalf of Jason and Keith, also say the following.
Merry New Year!
And that is all I have to say there. Wesley, as we haven't seen you for a long time, do you want to lead us out for the last time in 2025?
I can do that. Everybody, stay warm and enjoy collecting.